let's get started. Oh, I can never figure this part out. There we go. Nope. Okay. So we're gonna take an inside look at KVCORE. We're super, super excited that we're gonna be converting over to this very soon. And we want to have you guys the best way possibly prepared for what's to come. And so we're going to take a look at what that looks like. And of course, we always do our objectives, which is to, again, understand the value and purpose of KVCORE, develop a better understanding of how to utilize this new system, and how to properly prepare for the upcoming launch. So the classic question is when. We get that, I mean, at least 2 to 75 times a day. Again, we're still working on some issues with Remax and KVCORE, and long story short, we're just so awesome. We have all these offices and all these people and all these brokerages that were actually in 2 different regions. So the holdup is they're trying to find a way that we're all one company, which is how we operate, in order to launch to everybody at the same time. So we've been pushing like crazy to get that done for a few weeks now. We're still really just, trying everything we can to get it escalated. But we wanted you guys to be prepared for when that does happen. And so what are your goals for joining us today on this digital marketing presentation? And so that might be to determine which features you want to use, get a better understanding of KVCORE, centralize your marketing, or prepare for KVCORE. So the main things we're going to walk through today is how you can prep your contacts for the launch checklist and what that's going to look like, and getting started with all the different things that you'll need to do as soon as you do have access to KVCORE. So we're first going to take a little walk through prepping your contacts. We've been saying this for ever since it probably launched, but this is going to be huge for getting yourself started quickly instead of weeks or months later. So doing the prep work and the homework ahead of time will really pay off in the long run. And so you're going to want to go through your CSV file of all your contacts, and you're going to want to make sure that you have their email, their phone number. There's a whole thing that we posted yesterday in the Facebook group, and we'll also send it out through Lone Wolf today. That really breaks down why you need these different categories for your contacts, and what specifically you're going to need for it to be successful. So there are 8 statuses for what types of contacts you have, and this is going to be super important. And the reason I say that is because these labels that you add to your different contacts are going to align with the different types of drip campaigns you're going to want to put these contacts on that are already pre-made by KVCORE within your CRM. So it'd be your sphere, a prospect, new lead, active lead, client, contract, closed, or archived. And so here is the image that we're talking about, that we'll also send out to you guys. So again, the basics: first, last name, email, phone, and then you're going to take that list of 8 and determine their status. And then you're going to want to put their deal type. Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Or are they both? And then a hashtag. So hashtags are super important in the KVCORE system. And the reason that we say that is because it's how you're going to be able to find more specific categories for these people. It might be how you met them. It might be what they're doing, like just browsing. They might be someone you met at church. Looks like they put that in there. They might already be a homeowner. It's just going to be a little bit more specific details that you're going to need throughout the process. And then,
We had a question. I'm sorry, I didn't
sure,
mean to cut you off.
no, you're good.
I believe that there's only one status per, and we can kind of show an example of that, but that's where Michelle asked that question, but that's where I think the hashtags come into play, and you can have multiple of those. And that's also how things are sorted and categorized within the CRM. That way, certain um, campaigns are triggered and everything like that, depending on what the status is and then what hashtags you're using and stuff like that.
Yes. And then just to go a little bit more in detail on the sphere section, because I know a lot of times we refer to sphere as, your whole contact list. So your sphere would probably be the people you're working directly with, opposed to someone who would be closed or an active lead. Your sphere would just be that generalized category. You're working with them, but they're not necessarily an active hot lead that you're pursuing, on a week to week basis or day to day basis. And then closed would obviously be you closed the deal with them. So they might be on more of a 3, 6, 12-month drip, just to stay in contact for the next purchase or listing.
Got another quick question. Debbie Shearer asked, does any of this information from tags, does it come from the tags in Booge? And the answer is yes. The tags and everything that you have already in your Booge CRM account and all the contacts in there will auto-populate over from Booge into the KVCORE system.
Yes. All right. Any more questions? All right, we're going to keep moving it along then.
Do it.
All right, so now we're going to dive. So that's your prep work. That's your homework. If you haven't done it already, you definitely are going to want to work on that just so when you get into the system, you're ready to rock and roll. And you're ready to start with that agent launch checklist. So how this process is going to work, and the reason we want to focus on this so much is our goal is to get it out to you guys before our next digital marketing class. But again, no promises. So with that being said, you guys are going to receive an email from us first, and we're going to let you know exactly what date we're planning the launch for. And then all the details you'll need, where it will be a Mac Center for you to access it. Some of you have already tried to, which is awesome. And then exactly how to go about getting logged in. So once you're in, your agent checklist is going to be your best friend for starting. And so it's going to walk you through all the different steps, videos, and exactly what you need to work through in order to complete all these steps and utilize the system. And the best part about it is Yanni and I can check on your status at any time and see exactly where you left off, or exactly what you've been working on. So again, it'll be a welcome to KVCORE. Why is completing your profile important? Using the main dashboard successfully, the KVCORE app. So that's really cool that they do now have an app for you guys to utilize your CRM, your contacts, and stay on top of that for your phones. Test your knowledge on the basics, action items to do, and then top 10 tips for KVCORE, and then joining a live webinar. So these live webinars, they're going to want you to join one of these after every different section of your agent launch checklist. And I know that sounds super extensive, but I have learned, I've taken a bunch, Yanni and I both, we've learned so much more on there than just watching the tutorials, because it's live people just like these are. And people are asking questions, you can ask questions that you might have. So really utilizing the webinars is important too. All right, so the next part that you're gonna go through, and again, these are all tutorial videos that you go through, or certain segments within the system where it walks you through steps. So this is guided completely. And so the next part that they are gonna want you to really understand and get knowledge on is your contacts and the automation. And this can be super confusing. I know I've gotten confused multiple times with the different types of automation. So you really do want to use these tools they're offering. And so it breaks down what are deal types, statuses, hashtags, and sources, which is going to help you with your CRM list. What are search alerts, market reports, and seller reports? These are all things that are going to be automatically sent out on your behalf to your clients based on the information you've input about their contact information. And so you're going to want to dive deep into this kind of stuff. And then you're going to go through the smart campaigns for your business, which again are already created for you. They're going to want to test your knowledge on the automation, and then understand the contact records and the client journey process, which is super important. So your clients are put on basically a lifelong process of what stage they're at. When you import these contacts, it's going to run AI on them and really just tell you exactly what the likely possibility is of them selling, who's going to, you're going to want to target first, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to follow the entire journey and track everything you've sent, every reply that they've sent, and all that information, especially even if they text you back to one of the automated text messages, that all is going to be shown in there. And then again, they're going to want you to join a live webinar, which is great, that they, offer all of these. And of course, you guys will have access to the calendar for all their live webinars, but it's also right in the platform. So then the next section will be getting familiar with your websites and your listings. So it is highly important to do and work through all of these because they all sync and work together, but breaking it down and understanding them separately will help you be able to see the bigger picture. So where's your website and how do visitors use it? Again, this is a lead generation tool. It's not just a website. So you are going to want to understand how this is working for you. So understand your settings, manage your listings inside, promote a listing, test your knowledge, and then your action items, and then again, join a live webinar. So then they're going to want to discuss fueling your pipeline. So this is going to be essential to, really driving more clients into your pipeline and using your CRM. So it's going to start with, let's get started with your existing contacts. This is going to be where you're going to import your contacts and start really working in the system. Inside Real Estate has also offered to help all of our agents import their CRM contacts so that it goes into the lead generation system properly. Yanni and I are also able to do that for you guys as well, as we're not the only brokerage that they're working with. So how to integrate your existing lead generation, marketing tools for lead generation, what's done for you, advertising, and what KVCORE is offering. A bonus webinar about KVCORE traffic and the different sources of where you can be receiving leads from, track your success with the business analytics, and test your knowledge on your pipeline. And then again, you're going to want to join another webinar.
All right, I had a couple questions.
Yeah, I'm out of breath.
You're all good. Yeah. So yeah, what Megan's going through, I'm going to show you all a little bit of what that actually looks like. You don't have to remember all of these titles or anything like that. It's something that we can, it's step by step. So these are the titles that they name it, just to give it some level of description. But we're going to show what it looks like in the quick start. It's not super overwhelming. And then I got a couple questions about the website. These websites will replace Booge, right? So anything in Booge, it's still going to be there on the back end for a little bit, but the whole point of KVCORE is to replace the existing CRM and website system. And for a good CRM to work, it has to be then connected to the website. The whole goal is to be this one-stop shop. So KVCORE, Max Tech powered by KVCORE, that's once we go live, your existing Booge website will automatically be transferred into the new KVCORE one. So make sure that you're aware of that, and that's something that we're going to work through as well. I know some people have vanity domains, so we're going to talk about as we roll out how to point them and forward them and everything like that. But everybody already also has an existing domain through Booge, and it has the name like Remax in it, and I can give some examples, but that's going to automatically transfer over to KVCORE.
Yeah, so it is it, like we keep saying, it's all one. So it, for all the features to work properly, they all have to be synced. So yes, essentially new websites are coming, and they will be a little different, but they're pretty great in our opinion, and we're excited. So again, that's another reason that I think a lot of people don't think about as to why it's still taking time to launch, is again, the second we hit that button, all your websites are coming down and your new ones are going up. So it's not just like just giving you guys access. There's a lot at stake, and a lot of potential errors that could occur that we're trying to ensure aren't going to. And then
I had another question Bobby was asking. So after we go through the rest of the presentation, I'm going to go ahead and show what some of this stuff looks like. I'm going to show an example of the website. It does connect through the MLS. So of course, the information from Bright and the MLS and everything, it has an IDX connection. It'll go right through to your website and everything.
Yeah, so it'll pull the listings, it'll pull all the information just like Megaphone does and Booge did. Now, Bobby, if I'm remembering correctly, you host your CRM through Bright.
Yeah, I've just switched it, but no, I've got my own CRM outside of Bright because I didn't.
Okay, perfect. So,
but I do like the way the website with Bright shows all the pictures instantly without having like one-liners. It's really pretty cool. So I'm just curious.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I just want to make sure. So if you are using a different CRM, it's not going to integrate like it will with Booge or transfer over. But you do have the ability to download everything out of that existing CRM and switch over.
Right, as long as you have your CSV file with all of your contacts, which is an Excel file format, everybody should have that either way. I know that things will be transferred from Booge automatically, but like we've said at previous meetings, your CRM, your sphere, that group that you have saved in a CSV file that you've collected over years and years and years, that's your money, right? That's your network and your sphere. So it's wise with any file format or anything like that to always have it backed up. Even everything that you save on your computer should be backed up in some fashion on a hard drive or a thumb drive or on Google Drive, on multiple things, right? Because we don't know how, these are all third parties. So you got to make sure that you protect your data as well, and have that all saved personally. So, yeah.
All right. So just another thing that is really cool within the system, and that's going to be a great help to you guys, is their Inside Real Estate has a chat feature, which I know a lot of us have used chat features before. There's are real people behind this chat. It's not robots. When you do use it, it'll tell you a live agent will be with you shortly. And it also keeps track of all the conversations that you have with them as far as any issues you're working through or what you are having difficulty with. They also are offering daily office hours at 12 p.m. our time. And so you can get on a live Zoom every day at 12 with the people that are working behind these chats with Inside Real Estate. And, these are the people you want to talk to. They have all the knowledge. They've helped build this system. And so you can get on there and ask questions or even just sit in and listen to what some other people might be working through or developing. And I actually got on one last week. It was really cool just to be able to put a face to the people we're talking to in the chat and be able to ask them questions that might be too hard to explain over the chat feature. With that said, there is no tech support hotline or anything like that. That's what we would call me and Yanni. And so with that being said, we do want to really encourage you guys to use your digital marketing team. And that's us. Not all brokerages have a digital marketing team. And so we truly do encourage you guys to reach out to us, even if it's not KVCORE related, just marketing in general. That's what we're all here for. And we're all learning this completely new system together. So don't feel that, you can't reach out or you're in this alone or you can only use Inside Real Estate. 9 times out of 10 throughout the Bouge process, we learned that if one of you have that question, 10 more do as well. And so we most likely already have the answer for you, or we'll find it out very quickly for you. So we're all in it together and we're here to make it as seamless as possible and help you guys through it. I know it can seem a little bit intimidating to take on such a big new system, but we'll get through it. There's
nothing worth doing is ever super easy, right? And this gives everybody an opportunity to take their system to the next level. This is a product that costs up to in the thousands per month, right? This Inside Real Estate, which owns KVCORE, also just bought Boomtown. These guys are the top of all of this type of technology and everything. So it's important to remember that and keep that in mind. That's why Remax is doing this. That's why they've invested the time and resources and money. With that, I'm going to show a couple examples so everybody gets a little bit better understanding of how things look. Does everybody see the Max Tech powered by KVCORE? Megan, you see that screen?
I do indeed.
All right. Yeah, I have PTSD. I'd shared a screen one time and I was talking for like 5 minutes. And then everybody's like, wait, we don't see what you're talking about. But it took like 5 minutes of that. So I always, double check
They
that.
all happened to us before.
So this is going to be the dashboard. I know people have seen it before, but the more that we see it, I think the more that we get used to it and understand it. And then that way we don't get super overwhelmed by it. So the first step, as Megan said, so as you get into this system for the first time, there's going to be chat bubbles that pop up pointing to different places to click and explaining what those sections do and what they are. So I found that super useful when I got in there for the first time, because again, there's a lot going on. It's a new system. So when you're looking at it, it's tough to kind of know where to start. I've probably mentioned this in the past, everybody. I always like to start in the top left and kind of work my way down and over. But this is going to be the dashboard. A cool piece of it, we as a digital marketing team and as admins for this system are going to be able to add announcements in a bit of a banner type of style. So we're going to be able to help keep everybody up to date with what trainings or what's going on and what announcements are fresh and everything. And then always on your dashboard is going to be this KVCORE training section. And that's where the agent quick start lives. That's also where the live training calendar lives. So really, really valuable section to be mindful of. And I'm going to kind of show a little bit how that looks. So The agent quick start, you come here. It's not going to say Alexander K at the top for all of you. I was making sure there was no Alexander K's on here. It looks like there is not currently. But so you're going to go ahead, click start course, and here are the video titles that Megan was talking about in the presentation. How to complete this course, welcome to KVCORE, why is completing your profile important? Each of these videos are like maybe 3, and I think the max was like 6 minutes long. So they're concise, they're quick, and you can work through, I kind of timed it roughly. I worked through the entire, all courses in like an hour and a half. So it's not a ton, it's something very manageable. And each video is going to come with an explanation on a piece that you're going to need to know, and then it builds on top of itself. So it's done in a really smart way. And as Megan said, there's a live webinar that you can sign up for after each section. There is a PDF of tips that you can print out or to have in front of you. And then it's kind of cool. They do test your knowledge as well. It's super basic. As I said on the business meeting, I passed all the quizzes, right? So that bodes well for all of you. It just asks a couple questions just to confirm that you were paying attention. And then that exists for all 6 of the sections that Megan had mentioned: setting up KVCORE, managing your contacts and automation, getting familiar with your website and listings, fueling your pipeline. There's a course conclusion. And then, of course, you can rewatch these things in your spare time. It's Saturday night, 6 p.m. You and your loved ones sitting on the couch, glass of red wine. You want to replay some of these webinars. I don't know. It could be an aphrodisiac. I'm not sure. It depends on what you're into.
I'm not thinking of.
So that's the agent quick start. And it's going to be, as I said on the business meeting, the ground zero. That's where everybody's going to want to get into and work their way through. Set aside that hour and a half, schedule it into your day, time block it. This turns into an income producing activity, which is something that people need to make sure that they keep high on their priority list. So again, and this goes to inside real estate. It's kind of nice. We have resources through RE/MAX. You have resources through RE/MAX Advantage Realty, and then we have resources through inside real estate. So you can hit them on all fronts, and that's what we've been doing as we work through a lot of this stuff. We have multiple fronts that we're able to hit these folks on and everything.
Okay. And just to add on that really quickly, because I did get a question about this, the names of everything have been a little bit confusing for people. So when they first announced that we were joining with KVCORE, we kind of just all adapted to calling it KVCORE. In your Max Center portal, it is called Max Tech powered by KVCORE. We've kind of just decided to stick with calling it KVCORE just because we didn't want the confusion between Max Center and Max Tech and what does that mean, and is Megaphone still in there, and all this different kinds of questions that arise. But yeah, as Yanni's highlighting, that is what you'll see. We do refer to it as KVCORE. It's just easier. It took a while for us to get Max Center to catch on. Sometimes, we still call it remax.net. So again, we're gonna just stick with that. So don't get that mixed up. The reason they are calling it that is because we're not the only people that are utilizing KVCORE. KVCORE, sells KVCORE itself individually. So with RE/MAX purchasing this for RE/MAX agents and it being a system developed for real estate agents, they had to give it legally a different name. So we'll stick with KVCORE, but just so you guys know, don't get that mixed up in your head with the other stuff that's in there. That is the KVCORE,
right, that
you'll be looking for.
That's a really good point. I know that over time, names have evolved in all of these systems and everything like that. Even since I've been messing around with this stuff, Booge, Max Tech, Max Center, remax.net, what was it called? Main Street. at one point, I think, for the people that have been with
True.
Remax for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll show up, and it may already show up. I believe it does, because I've noticed on our analytics side that some people have clicked it. You won't be able to get in just yet. You can click it. It'll just have a pop-up bubble that'll say not yet, but it'll be in your apps and tools section, somewhat similar to how you access Booge, how you access the marketing portal, how you access Megaphone, First, and some of the other tools. So you click that and it'll bring you right here to this dashboard. Makes it super easy. I wanted to touch just briefly too on the contacts really quick, because Megan touched a little bit on the different statuses, and I wanted to show everybody. Let me see if I can zoom this a touch. Okay, that's far too much. I wanted to show everybody kind of what a contact or a lead in different statuses looks like. So I may have mentioned this on the last class. We had a really high level lead named Yanni Carvasilis. He's just a member of the Sphere here. And already this person has been reached out to via text and email 11 times. And this has all been done through the automated system. So as people are imported, depending on how they're categorized, they're going to be triggered for certain campaigns and everything like that. The campaigns in this system are far more deep than they ever were with Booge. And again, I know that this looks overwhelming as you first look at it, but I'm going to give you a little outline of what this is, so that way you can understand how you interact with each of your contacts in the system. It's always good to start from the top left, right? And in the English language here. So you see the person's name, email, and everything like that. They can be entered into the system in a number of different ways. Either they're brought in directly from your CRM in a large group, or you add them individually, or as people interact with our website or your website or Remax's website, they can be added to your system as a lead. It'll give you a little bit of a summary about this person. It does validate the contact information, and I think that was a really cool feature. It uses AI and it runs analytics on the email, on the phone number, on the name, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it can pull the social information, but I know we get leads that come through at mickeymouse@gmail.com or something like that. This helps to make sure that the lead is in fact a real person, and the contact information you have is accurate. That's something that's hugely important. As I mentioned earlier, the big value that you have as agents is your Sphere and your CRM. Obviously, it's you're a big piece of it, but it's your CRM and your Sphere is kind of how you're able to be consistently prospecting and pulling in deals and everything like that. So at the top, you see the sections that Megan had listed earlier: that Sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, client, contract closed. And that is also a way that your contact is triggered into certain CRM drips and everything like that. So I think, to answer Michelle's question earlier, I believe that you can only be one of these at a time. You can change it. And as you see, I clicked prospect. This action could affect or remove the currently assigned smart campaign. So they like to make sure that you're aware of what's going on when you make these clicks. So that way, again, it triggers them into a new campaign. And I'll illustrate those briefly as well. So the things that, another thing that I thought was really cool. So as I go toward the middle here, you can see all of the touches that have occurred with that individual contact. You can see when it was, you can view what it was. This is the way, this is how these pieces look. Super, super clean. So you can see all of the messages that you've sent out. All of them are branded with your information, your contact info, and all that fun stuff. So it makes it really, really easy to track this kind of thing. And I think a lot of people are going to really like that side of it. You can see the emails that are sent. You can see the tasks that are assigned, because what we're going to do as we import all of your contacts and they are entered into these different segments of the drip, some of them, there's a task of giving them a call or something like that. So really cool. We got a couple questions. Let's see.
So how is this different than First by Remax, or is that going to go away? So this is very different than First, because First doesn't have any of this. First of all, it's just a mobile app. So the capability is very, very different from what you can do on a phone compared to a desktop version. First is not linked to any website to be importing new leads. You have to go out and find that information on your own. As far as we know, First is not going away. It's another tool you could use in addition to this. However, you're going to have all this same information on the app. So I wouldn't say it's a necessity to use both, but everybody has a different goal with their marketing plan and a different way that they like to execute their process. But the main difference is there's no CRM with First. With First, it's just staying in contact, usually via text or via phone. I know you can do email through there, but like mass marketing email really isn't an option. And then stop paying for First by Remax is what you would recommend if this is, if I had to make a recommendation, I would say yes. I would obviously export all of your information from there first and all of your contacts and everything like that. But again, I would wait until, this is launched and set up and you see how it runs before canceling anything.
Right. And it really depends.
This is a one-on-one topic that we would cover.
Yeah, we looked at your goals with it, Maria, and what you're getting out of something. Generally, our advice is don't fix what's not broken, right? If you're getting something out of something, by all means, use it. This is a totally new, smart CRM, all in one. First is kind of ranking people to see how willing or able they are to sell in like the next 6 months to help you target people. Most of the time, what we've seen it used as is the people that are already in your contacts in your phone. So it's not necessarily, past clients, all that kind of stuff.
They probably have a lot more validation points, as Yanni showed on the left-hand side where it says contact validation. You can always hit run right there and update it again. I do believe First is probably going to have a lot more points of validation they're running it against. I think we did a presentation on that maybe 8 months, 12 months ago, and it was at like 700 different data points they're running it against. Just with like the knowledge of how things run and operate on the back end and the limited ability of what First does, they focus more on the data points and the validation. This system does that, but again, it does so much more with that as well. So they're probably not running it against 1,000 different points. I know in my contact, it said I worked at a different Remax.
And the goal with First, again, is to see how willing they are to sell in a short period of time this is to keep in touch with your contacts. You have drip campaigns, property alerts, active campaigns, market reports. So it's far, far deeper. You can send texts directly through it. They've got tons of canned responses already built out. And of course you can make edits to them. I can send a text just like that.
This is kind of like First on steroids.
Oh yeah.
I'd explain it because you're hitting them with so many different avenues that you're also not becoming just like that annoying real estate agent that texts me every single day. You're just putting them on these campaigns with subtle hints, and then the whole goal is to get the client journey from sphere to close. First, more so, is just getting you in contact with potential.
Yeah. Very good. So yeah, that's definitely very different tools.
Question, though.
Yeah. So this is the way that you're going to see details for each client. By the way, I sent myself a text just from here, and it came through, and it has It just looks good. It's the way that they do it. It's clean. It makes it super easy. And then I have different property alerts set, somewhat similar to what people use in the MLS and Bright, but you'll be able to do that all through here. You can send them market reports. You can send them presentations. And the cool thing about that is you can then see analytics on the back end to see, did they open it, what they looked at, how long, heat maps, and the whole nine. So the back end analytics on this are infinitely more than a lot of the other things that I've seen. So as I close that out, I'm going to zoom just back to this wide look. So on the left is where you guys will all see the launch checklists. So you all see that. That's kind of some of the items that Megan had gone over. And then on the right at the bottom is the chat. So you can pop it open. You can start a discussion. They have some quick tips. They have some send a message. They'll be back in 30 minutes or whatever. So they set good expectations. It lets you know if the system is up and running. That way you can get a lot of those questions out of the way pretty easily. And then it also just gives you the resources, maybe something that you aren't positive about, but you want to find out before you even ask, or you can ask the question, but then also dig in on your own. You can share product ideas as well. I really like using this so far. It's been super helpful, and I've noticed that we get really good response and back and forth. So this is the way that you're going to interact with the Inside Real Estate team directly. And again, they are real people. I'm talking to them constantly, trying to make sure that we have everything all figured out. So that's going to be the chat that everybody's going to want to know how to use and access once they get in. Let's see. So to touch a little bit on the smart campaigns, because again, that's a huge difference, Maria, than first. I know I went into some of these last time, but now that you all have a little bit more context, I'm going to just outline them briefly. So as we looked at the status for each contact, these are triggered depending on that status. So this conversation starter for buyer leads campaign, which is a seven-day conversation starter campaign for buyer leads, it's triggered when somebody is entered in as a new lead. So if you have somebody as a status that's called new lead, this campaign is triggered. It's got 9 touches. And of course, you can go into it and see what those touches are. It's a mix of texts, emails, tasks, phone calls, and more emails. So for each, and of course, they can all be edited and all that kind of stuff. You want to tweak to make it your voice and all that. That's kind of down the road. The way that they're built out automatically, I think, is great. So you're going to be able to enter in people that are in your network, in your sphere, based on what status they are automatically into these drip campaigns, these smart CRM drip campaigns.
So Mark had a good question while we're on the topic. And he asked, when texts are sent, does it come from our actual cell phone number or a number generated through KVCORE? And that's an awesome question, Mark. So you are each given a smart number through your KVCORE app, and everybody's going to have their own. You can make, so if you click phone call in this system, you can make a phone call directly from that phone number. The text messages are going to come from that phone number. So it's not going to be your own cell phone number. There is not a way to do any mask forwarding where it does come from your cell phone number. However, it does use the same phone number over and over and over again. So if you wanted to use that as a marketing, another, direct number to list with your marketing in addition to your cell phone number, that would definitely be a good idea. So if people are getting text messages from there, you can see that. And then Yanni, if you go into mine really quickly, we can show you guys how. So you can see right there where it says received a text message. So Alex had sent me something, and then I texted that phone number back off my phone. And it shows you right there. I said, thank you. he can respond and you can keep the conversation going. So it's all documented in there and you're consistent with using that same phone number. And again, I think it sets a good expectation doing it that way as well. I think we all get a crazy number of text messages at random hours of the day, but I think you're able to really like utilize and see those important ones first through here, but you're also able to, respond to the ones that aren't dire or needing responded right away through this system.
And a cool piece of it, which differs from traditional kind of like other texting solutions like Textedly or something like that, or bulk texting, this comes through as a 10-digit number. It's a local 10-digit number that it'll come through as. And it actually, for me, as it comes through, it says maybe Alexander, so it does kind of, my cell phone automatically triggers that, and I didn't enter anything in that. So I think iPhones and everything are going to be able to help the consumer see that it's from you, or you let the consumer know ahead of time to expect things. But yeah, it's not going to be able to go directly from your cell phone number, the text, that is.
You can set up the forwarding though for the phone calls. That was the next question. Yes, you can. So, and another feature, I want to say that the way that the phone calls work, I could quote me if I'm wrong, Yanni, but I believe if it's an automation where it's calling for you, so say on the campaign it says at 3 p.m. on Friday the 27th, I'm going to be calling Yanni because he's my contact that I'm working with. So it'll either do one of two things, where you can do a voicemail drop where it basically is as if their phone never really rings and it just sends you right to their voicemail, and then you are leaving a pre-recorded voicemail. Or if it's a new call, you can make that call yourself, or you can have it where the phone rings and if they pick up, then it calls your phone number as if you're receiving a call, but really it's just connecting you.
Right. And so when you see call contact here, it says note your phone will be called before the other party is connected. So that's kind of what Megan was talking about there on that. And again,
Basically,
I know
you'll get a phone call from, it'll look like you're getting a phone call, but really you're the one calling them. It's just so that this is an automation system, so it's done for you. It's not just a reminder that says call Yanni at 3 p.m. It's doing it for you. You just need to pick up your phone. If they pick up, it'll connect the two. So that's a really cool feature too, because you're out and about, you're doing what you need to do. It's not holding you back from doing that.
Right. Yeah. So the smart number is cool. It was something new for us as well. But like Mark said, just telling people that it's your work number or something like that. It's good, I know, for safety and things like that, but it's the only way for an internet system to be able to send a text message out. It has to be attached to something. Right. Another piece that I wanted to touch on, I know I talked about this before, the core present piece of it. You can create it for listings, for buyers. You can create a presentation, you create a buyer tour for all of the properties that you're about to show with your client and everything like that. You can send that out to people via email or print it or show them. It's a web-based product, which is really cool. And then, but if you email it to them, you can then see analytics, which I love. Megan knows I love me some analytics. You're able to see a heat map of how long people were on each page, where they were holding their mouse, a ton of information that it'll be valuable for you when a client is reviewing, a presentation or something like that. So you can see what was maybe important to them. Maybe they stayed a little bit longer on the school section or something like that. So this was one I did on my neighbor's house for sure. It's certainly not my address, so nobody show up to 4627 Foster Ave. But just to give an idea, this is what you'll do for your listing presentations. It has tons of value. You know, it's talking about who you are as an agent and everything like that. I know people have listing presentations that they already use, which is fantastic. You are able to import different slides or entire presentations that you already have. So if you want to import a slide that's specific to, you work with builders a lot, or about your awards that you've had over the years or something like that, you can add to it, which is really neat. But out of the box, it's a fantastic tool that is live, right? It's web-based. So again, the analytics that I would see for something like this is that I was looking on the map, right? Maybe I was looking up towards a different area, Rosedale or something. I was clicking on Hopkins. You know, how long did they stay on this page reviewing the comparables and stuff like that? So again, it's branded the whole way through, which is really cool. Gives you a sense of the market conditions and all that kind of stuff. Comps, talks about a market assessment. You know, I know I'm moving through this quickly, but it's just to give an idea of what it is out of the box. It's a fantastic tool, and I found it to be super, super useful. So that's the core present, and then you can go back and look. Analytics wise, if you send that to somebody, you can see open rate, you can see average time spent, and all that kind of stuff, which again, the more that we know, the more valuable our advice is to our potential clients and customers. So you can get an idea of what's important to them, and that's how you're able to present information to them. So that's the core present and the smart campaigns. They go real deep. And as we roll this out, we're going to be doing lots and lots of training, especially one-on-one on a lot of these pieces, because it's going to be based on an individual case by case, right? So you can go as deep as you want to with this, but out of the box, everybody should be using the out of the box stuff, and making sure that their clients on consistent drip, et cetera, et cetera. Website. I know there was a question about that and what it looks like, content and stuff like that. Out of the box, it's pretty solid, straightforward and everything like that. You can add a lot of pieces to it. The pieces that you have in Booge do not transfer automatically. So if you need help or want to save anything that was unique to your website, give us a shout and we'll help you through that process. That way you can get it back up and running on your new KV site. Let's see, I'm sorry, chat. Yeah, the training is going to be huge, that's for sure. And it's something that we're going to be able to go at everybody's pace and everything like that. So yeah, there's an absurd amount of tools. So out of the box, this is kind of the way that the website presents. Very clean. Again, the whole goal, people to search and then to capture their information after they search and everything like that. Megan's been building out some pages that outline all of our offices, that connect to a lot of the services that we offer and everything like that. And then we're working on a couple of pieces to kind of touch on our featured areas for each of the offices that we have and everything like that. So that way people can search in specific areas. And I know that's important for agents as well, to have maybe different neighborhoods or counties or areas that they work in highlighted. So if somebody goes onto their website, they're searching and pulling all the information. Of course, we have reviews that are rolling through, really nice stuff. And then you can have it set to have all of the listings from the company, just your listings and things like that. And then each area that we cover, I didn't love this section of it, but I do think it's important to have it on here. I wouldn't list out like 10,000 different areas that you cover, because it's unlikely, in my opinion, that somebody's going to kind of click through if there's 1,000 of them. But if you keep it tight, 20, 30 or something like that, this is really easy to enter on the back end, where you can showcase the areas that you cover. Probably won't work right now because it's not live, and it might just go right to a Remax site. Oh no, shoot, look at me, it did work. It's probably all Megan's doing. But so each area that you want to highlight and showcase that you search in, this is great to have it broken down by neighborhood, by county, by city, by town. And then it offers a bunch of statistics and information about the market itself. I think this piece of it is fantastic. So they do a really good job breaking this kind of stuff down and making it really user friendly.
Absolutely. There's just so much that your clients are going to have access to through you guys. I think it's just awesome. All the different stuff. I can't really imagine them asking for anything you wouldn't have access to offering very quickly to them.
Right.
And it's customized.
And it's fairly easy to customize. You know, of course, we're going to help throughout the process as well. But again, this comes out of the box and it's a fantastic piece, just right as it is. And anybody that's been with Remax for a while knows that they've gone through evolutions with the websites. Before it was kind of just your headshot and a little bio, and then the Boosh sites came on and upgraded that. And now this is fully interactive with your CRM. You can track the information really, really well, and that makes it super, super valuable.
Anne Marie had a good question about adding your own photo. That is actually a question I don't have the answer to, because we're in what we like to call autopilot mode. So like this site is not live. As if you look really smallly up top, it says staging.kvcore. This isn't a live site. This is just us able to build out and understand how their system is working. So again, this isn't a real website right now. With that being said, we have access as a broker or admin account. We don't have access to pretend right now and play around as an agent. So I'm really not sure if it puts your photo up there like Boosh does. I would hope so. But I do know for a fact in your email and your marketing, it does brand you. If you guys recall where it was at the bottom, it showed Alex's picture. So again, we're in as a broker or admin account when we're working. So the agent accounts, agent websites might have very slightly different features like the photo and branding specifically. But I think that they probably will.
Yeah, and then you're able to get into and make a lot of changes and edits. I'm sure you can add pieces like that. It has right here like the website photo, and then you can work on different templates and all that kind of stuff. You can we added reviews. You can add your search areas. That's the piece that I was pointing out, that each area and everything like that is highlighted, and then you're able to have a breakdown for each of that.
And it builds those pages for you. You don't have to do anything but enter the area. The ones that Yanni was just showing about the neighborhoods, those are already built out.
Yeah, it makes it super, super easy. And then the deeper we go with everybody, we can of course work on some custom pages and everything like that. But these are well built to help with search engine optimization and getting more eyeballs on this kind of stuff. Remax does a fantastic job with their SEO. And as you search things, you end up realizing that Remax websites end up placing much higher than other websites right in Google. So it's a great tool. And as you get in, again, those are going to be the big pieces. As we mentioned earlier, as everybody goes through the quick start, we're actually able to see that on the back end. And we're going to enter everybody that completes the quick start into a raffle, right? And then we're going to have, I don't know, I'm thinking of a good prize for everybody. I know I have a couple ideas, but if you have something really, really good, shoot me a message and everything like that. Because I'd love to give something that y'all are actually interested in and everything like that. I'm trying to dangle a large carrot here because I know that this going through that process is going to answer most of the questions that people have getting started.
Maybe one of the add-ons.
Right. I got a suggestion already. it's close, but that might be a little strong. I'm going to leave it up to y'all's imagination, but so I also had a question: when will we be able to use the new site? That is when we go live. So once we go live with everything, that is when you have access to all of these tools: the site, the CRM, the core present, the whole nine, right? Let's see. Is there a calendar and a financial planner in the CRM? I'm not positive about the financial planner or calendar. Are you asking for like like a Google Calendar type of thing?
Yep.
Not that I'm aware of.
You can integrate your Gmail account though.
Okay.
For emailing directly through there.
That's something I'll have to check on a little bit. Yeah, I'm not positive.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other questions that we don't know the answer to, Yanni and I, we work with a Remax international rep. It's supposed to be every 2 weeks, but we kind of force him into meeting with us every week. Because again, we're super excited to get this out to you guys, and we want to make these things happen for you. But again, if you do have questions that arise and we don't have the answers, we are always in contact with a team much larger than ourselves to bring those answers to you guys.
Right. We know it's a process and everything like that, but that's part of why we're having sessions like this. I'm really liking the engagement and the attendance and everything. Obviously, this group is gonna do a fantastic job and go through the process. I know a lot of these faces have been on here, and these black boxes with names have been on here a lot. So it's been good to see consistency and everything like that. What other questions could we answer for you all as we kind of get going? I know the main question is when, and we don't have that exact date yet. It's really minor, the last couple of things that we're fiddling through, but we're super in tune with all of the other brokers that are on the same schedule as we are. And we're in a really good spot because this was released to an initial gifted and talented section of brokers, which we snuck into mainly because of Megan's in the mix. And that's not me just boosting her ego. That's 100% the truth there. So they want to make sure that the people that start with it from now end up doing really well with it. Is anybody on here going to R4? Mr. Brookhart, I see Dennis Guma raising his hand. Okay, cool. I know a couple of people that are going to R4. There's going to be a lot on this type of stuff. And there he is. I knew you were raising your hand anyway, Dennis. I know you weren't on video there, but I could feel it. I could feel the energy of the hand raise. So I think we have about 9 or 10 of our agents and George and Barbara from management going over to R4. Make sure you get a couple drinks on George. They're all free, I guess, on the floor. So just gamble a little bit and you'll get them. But there's going to be a ton of, go ahead, Mr. George. What do you got? Oh, you got a phone call. Who's calling him? Somebody out of this group, I
was
guess.
just going to say, I'm the one there only to, watch over Dennis so he doesn't get in trouble.
Oh,
good luck, sir. Yeah.
Is that a service we can hire George for trips? We did have another question. So who already uses KVCORE? Other brokerages. So yes, there are other brokerages, and I believe the only one is EXP. Is that right?
I think so, yeah, but it is a much more limited version than this. They don't have core present. They try to charge you to just import your contacts. So yeah, it is a third-party system that any agent, I think there's a couple agents on here that actually, I think Chuck and Sharon Marshall have used it.
Next Home.
Never heard of Next Home, but
I've heard of smaller brokerages buying it too. So the main difference is that there's KVCORE over here, and KVCORE is not just real estate. There's mortgage loan officers that use it. There's all different types of companies that use it. And so that's just like, I mean, it's a great system. I've heard it's general, it's KVCORE. So then they bill based on your package that your company purchases, they build and develop off their baseline. And then I would assume based on how much money, what you agree upon, whatever Remax International discussed with, Inside Real Estate, they developed their own system. And that's why you see it written as Max Tech powered by KVCORE. So it is branched off of the entire KVCORE system, but it's different. Ours is upgraded, which it's built for Remax Advantage Realty agents. They worked very hard on developing a system specific for you guys, and it is more upgraded than other brokerages. And it's also not, Remax is huge, number one real estate brand in the world. So what you're getting is going to be different than what the other real estate brokerages are offering, especially smaller ones who are purchasing it themselves. They don't have these large contracts where an entire system was built just for their company.
Right. Which is kind of what Remax was trying to do, doing it in-house with Bouge, but they realized, it takes a lot of engineers for that. And Remax is a real estate company first. They dabbled in the technology world, but they've realized that harnessing the power of this is the top level of a smart CRM system. I know people have heard of Boomtown. This used to be called Conversion. They changed the name to KVCORE, but those two are the top in real estate CRMs. I know Boomtown is maybe $1,200 a month or something like that. I know KVCORE, the way that we have it set up through Remax, I think it's about $1,900 or $1,000 per month. So huge value that Remax is looking to offer now. And they were able to do that by shifting away from hiring engineers and then investing in getting this program for all of you. And it has a few extra levels than the basic, like the Core Present and some other stuff. And of course, it is a third-party system, so there are other add-ons that people can do. But we recommend going through, getting the baseline all set up, and then we can talk about add-ons. You want to up your bomb thing. If you noticed when the voicemail piece, that might be a piece of an add-on and things like that. But if everybody works on the baseline first, I think we can work towards add-ons. You can start reallocating some marketing funds towards it if you're able to shift things into this, if it seems like that's going to be the move. I know Mark Hall has been talking about that, and some other agents that are excited for this to get started, just reallocating some of their marketing budget because they no longer need to pay for an outside CRM. Let's see. So, and I think I had the question, does Keller have it? They do not. They use their own internal system. I think they may have had it in the past or something like that, but they built out their system called Command, and it's a break and fix type of situation, not really something that's well developed. And I know that's where that question's coming from, Anne Marie. It's all right, we're going to get into this. Is this the real deal? And my answer is yes. It is the real deal. It's something that has been built out. It's great to have support from all sides, like I mentioned earlier, too. We have Inside Real Estate to go directly to, but we also have the third party of or the direct line through Remax. So we're kind of hitting them on both. And then, of course, you all have Megan and myself. As we wrap up here, of course, put any other questions in the chat, but anybody that's going to R4, and I'm going to be posting this on the internal Facebook, but our very own Ron Howard is actually, it looks like he doesn't have the date here. I don't have the date on this, but I'll find it and let you all know. But he's going to be putting on a presentation at R4. So definitely show the love and support. This is one of our Fells Point teams and agents, Ron Howard, Greatest Moves team. And he's going to be going over a lot of cool stuff. So I'm going to be sharing that on the internal Facebook because I think it's a great opportunity to show support for some of the people that we have internally and everything like that going out there and speaking. Let's see. Does anybody else have any further questions? This is a great session. Lots of good participation. No questions from Steve. He's like, got it, bro. We're all good. Hang loose. All right. Mr. Delaney, how about you? Anything else? No, all good. Calvin's feeling good. Bobby's about to play a game of 9-ball. She's feeling good. All right. Well, thank you all so much
I
for.
do have one thing for you
Okay.
guys real quick.
Oh, please.
So here is the an image of the difference between what the Remax offers and what EXP offers for you guys. So I'm gonna put that in the chat if it'll let me. Does it let you send pictures?
You can share it, but there was like 3 or 4 pieces of the puzzle that they didn't include from what I remember.
Okay. Well, we can get that sent out to you guys. So check your email for that. What about transactions? That was a quick question.
It does integrate with Dotloop. That might be an extra add-on, and we can go into that in some of the future sessions or something like that. But it does integrate with a number of other pieces, as Megan mentioned.
It's not a fee because you pay for Dotloop already.
Okay.
So it does, yeah. I did read that somewhere.
Yes.
So yeah, Dotloop. So then all the information and the contacts can be pulled over directly from Dotloop as well, so that you'll have those for the next time. But yeah, you won't have to pay for any of that because you already have a Dotloop account.
But yeah, you can see that there's a lot of ways that it can integrate with other tools and everything like that. There's coaching, there's one-on-one. You can, learn more about everything. You can pay a little bit extra. Again, we're going to start with the basics, and then we'll kind of work through all of these extras, which all do have value. I've heard good things about Nosy Neighbor. As we've said in the past, all of what your marketing plans are should be filtered through your goals and what you're planning to do and what you want to do in real estate. So we don't want people just grabbing at this or that tool that doesn't end up being something that ends up working long term. You should always be filtering that through your business plan and your goals and what you have going on and everything like that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll keep you updated as much as possible as we continue through this process and this journey. We're fighting hard to get it to you as soon as possible. And then if anybody has any questions, if you need any assistance with your, CRM, exporting contacts, all of that fun stuff in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help. And we're super happy that you guys are as excited as we are to get started.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited, guys. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody enjoy the rest of the day. Have a very productive Tuesday, and we will catch you all very soon.
All right.
See ya.
Everybody be safe.